Hello, and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I am Dominic Sartorio, Vice President of Product Marketing here at Denodo. Denodo is a data management vendor, and we provide logical data management, data virtualization, and the ability to deliver data for all kinds of use cases across the business. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Naveed Afzal, who's the head of data science at Takeda. And what have you done or are currently doing to ensure that your data strategy is aligned with your AI strategy, and what measures and processes have you put in place to ensure that?
What we have to make sure also on that we should not be overly get focused on technology and forget about the processes and people, because if you see a lot of other issues, and like recent BCG survey came out that revealed that 90% of challenges are not related to AI itself, but 70% related to people and processes, and 20% is technology and data. So which means is that in order to really gain value from your AI and data initiatives, you have to have a proper effective change management in crucial for successful AI adoption. So, and it involves clear communication, providing the training and support to help employees understand AI benefits. So, which ultimately will talk about data culture. Culture become very important, that you have a proper change management at place, accountability is there, your leadership has to start from, it has to come from the top, that which embrace change and innovation. It's cultivate continuous learning and adaptability, embrace change management in the culture, then business prioritization, balancing AI with other goals, evaluate return on investment, set up clear goals and business objectives. And then also we have seen that many people are becoming in very suspective that what is generative AI may impact their job. So you have to see resistance, lack of adoption. So to deal with it, you have to provide the learning opportunities to reskilling the employees, provide them environment to foster a positive attitude toward AI and adoption of AI, provide them the retraining and learning opportunities. And sometimes the organization want to adopt data science and AI, but they did not have the infrastructure in place, like from the IT side, that ensure that they can deal with the huge volume of data. So they have to investment in IT infrastructure, improve robust data governance practices. So these guys, if you ask me what are the root causes of AI project failures, I would say the first one which stands out to be lack of understanding, lack of clear problem definition, misunderstood the problem which we are addressing, misaligned expectations and efforts. Examples include, like, generally we say we will improve the customer satisfaction. So that's very broader. Instead of saying specific target like reducing customer service response time by 30%. So you have to have a clear kind of within 6 months. So you are trying to be very objective what your goal or what you are looking to achieve from this. Then also many organizations does not have in high quality data, or data is in silos. As we say in machine learning, garbage in, garbage out. If you don't have a good quality data, you don't expect the good quality insight which help you to create value. Then they also have to make sure that the key component is that you have a data management system in place. You have a proper system in place for model development, ML ops, LLM ops now coming. Your infrastructure is set up in such a way that it can deal with the scalable solution. Scalability is there. And we have to be realistic also. Sometimes we try to go for a moonshot. So we have to make sure that it is realistic. AI limitation is there, and we have to make sure that our expectations are not unrealistic. And now, if I have talk about what are the root causes of AI project failure, so let me briefly talk about how to succeed in an AI project. So I think Apple founder Steve Jobs very well said it that if you define the problem correctly, you almost have the solution. So align on the real problem. I think this is very important. Engage with the business. Engage with all, define the problem clearly before starting the project. So what problem you are trying to address. Invest in high quality data. Have a proper governance and data management mechanism at place. Have effective communication. And then, as I talked about earlier, that you include data science and AI professional in executive roles, have experienced leadership, and focus on problem, not on the technology. Most of the time, we have the tendency to first select the technology and then see, okay, how we can fit this problem into that technology so that technology will solve it. So it should be other way around. We look at the problem and then we'll look at it, what is the best suitable technology which can help us to solve this problem, and plan thoughtfully and execute practically. And I think many business lead, many technical side of the leader focus on too much on the design, technological design, rather than getting very close to the business. Because sometimes we have to understand, if we build a solution, how the business is going to be using that in their workflow. Sometimes you have a very good model which is giving very good results, but that does not fit in the workflow of the business, so they will not be going to use it. So we have to understand and work very closely that how the business is currently being worked, how this solution will be leveraged, what workflows will be around it. And for example, a manufacturing company implemented a predictive maintenance system, but they failed to collaborate with maintenance and operation teams. So this will lead to minimal improvement because they did not understand that how this model will be implemented in the real workflow and how it will be used. So it's very important to work closely with the business and to see how the value is being added into that.
No, that's great overview with great examples. So to summarize a few of the points, one common challenge is just not having the problem defined correctly. Some organizations will have these very broad moonshot kinds of requirements, like improve customer satisfaction in general. That's too broad. Be more focused, like you want to provide better personalized recommendations, which is more specific. But then even there, you have to make sure that that solution actually fits with how the business actually operates and how people are actually doing their work, like how the customer success people are actually operating. You gave another great example with predictive maintenance. You could have a great app, but does it actually align with how the maintenance operations and technicians actually operate on the factory floor or on a tarmac, right? So those are all great examples. And then you got to make sure you have the data that actually aligns with that problem definition and how the solution's actually going to be used by the people in question. So I love what you said, earlier. As technologists, it's sometimes natural for us to say, hey, I have a technology or I have some data. Let's look for problems to solve with it. And it really should be the other way around. Start with the problem, and then the right tools, the right tech, the right data will then be easier to identify. And you also pointed out the importance of having good data management and IT infrastructure so that it's scalable with the data volumes and the latencies you need. You can measure and correct for data quality. You can monitor for outages and other governance policies. So that's all great advice, and thank you for that. So the last question I have for you is this: as you reflect back on your career, and you've had many great accomplishments, and I'm sure had to overcome a lot of challenges along the way. What advice would you offer to data science and AI leaders who are still early in their career? Like if you had a time machine and you go back and talk or give advice to yourself 20 years ago, what would it be? So, what could a young AI leader take away from your experiences?
Sure. Thank you for kind words. I think the first advice will be know what data matters, because we have not all data is equal value. So we have to engage with business and understand what data is crucial. Ask questions with the business like, how do you use this data? When do you look at this data? When do you report at it? Does it need to be up to date, minute, hours, daily, weekly? What purpose is this data serves? Who needs to be notified if data is delayed? So that will help you a kind of a complete perspective around what data, which data tables you have to look at it. What are the important data points you should look for? And for that regard, I would recommend reading the book called The Digital Mindset. And the second part is that we are all using a lot of social media, all the information like IoT devices are there. So going forward, 90% of the data will be unstructured. So as a data scientist, you should develop skills to process and analyze this data using advanced technologies like NLP, machine learning. So you have a strong foundation into that how you can deal with those unstructured data. Third, beyond technical expertise, I think successful data project requires continuous monitoring, optimization, and effective communication. I think it's vital that you master the art of storytelling to tailor your communication to your audience. So you should know when you are speaking with the technical audience how to communicate, and when you are dealing with the business leaders how to communicate. And another factor is focus on responsible AI. Prioritize ethical consideration in your work. Addressing biases, ensuring transparency, safeguarding privacy is crucial for building trust. And I think for data scientists, the most important currency is trust. It takes a lot of time to build that trust with the business stakeholders. So make sure that you pay your attention to responsible AI. Second thing I would also highlight is the need for collaboration and network. And for responsible AI, I would recommend reading. I have recently read a very good book called Ethical Machines, which talk in detail about responsible AI. So another factor is collaborate and network. Build a strong professional network. Attend conferences. There are a lot of resources now available online. Stay up to date with the latest trends in technology and AI and data science. Focus on impact. Right now, most of the time, we are doing the project, but if somebody asks us what the impact will be when this solution is being deployed, I think we should be very clear what impact it will have and keep end goal in mind, because sometimes projects continue, and data is changed. Now there's no real value for that project to be deployed in production. So be more agile approach and have an end goal in mind. Embrace lifelong learning. I think the field of data science is constantly evolving, changing. So stay curious and committed to continuous learning. I think, for personally, I have over the time, I have learned to achieve ROI by focusing on high impact project and which drive real value. So, for example, invest in scalable core business use cases, which we really will add value to the business. Prioritize data hygiene and governance. I think experiment culture of collaboration, foster a culture of testing, learning, and collaborating with your colleagues and working closely with the business. And from the leadership perspective, I would say I have learned that it's very crucial to find a balance between being too permissive uh, or being too authoritarian. Because if you are not demanding at all as a leader, you risk becoming permissive. But if you are too demanding, you risk becoming authoritarian. So you have to find a right balance between too demanding and too permissive. So this is very important for data science and AI leaders to how they can work with their team to meet their goals and deliver value through their work.
Wow, that's all excellent advice. I wish I could have bottled that up, send it back in time so I could discover it at a younger age. And I'm sure the audience agrees. This was an excellent interview, and I want to thank you, Naveed, for joining me today and for sharing your great thoughts and wisdom. So thank you again. And for more great interviews such as this one and insights, please visit cdomagazine.tech. And thank you again.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.